back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Mike, this is Kara and Paul.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we do things, and we talk to you, and we kind of just figure this out as we go. Kara, what are we talking about? Kara, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're talking about Daredevil.
Mike, how did we get an attractive woman to do this with us?
Who let her in?
I don't know. Well, we welcome Kara today. This is her first episode, and you guys are going to love her, so show her some love in the comments below, would you please? All right, Kara, what are we talking about today again?
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Didn't we talk about this already, Mike?
Oh, you know what? We talked about Daredevil a lot, but it's worth talking about.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Daredevil, and if you guys haven't watched Daredevil yet, it's on Netflix. It is an amazing show. They have 2 seasons out already, and if you're just now getting started, you won't have to wait that long for season 3 because it's going to be out probably sometime early next year, but we don't have a date yet. Mm-hmm. So, why do we love Daredevil so much?
Well, some major points would be the tonal quality and the cinematography. I think off the top of my head, were awesome. I mean, everything about the production is awesome. The storyline, the acting, you know. I mean, that's the type of series I would watch the whole thing over again, you know, no problem. Which, did you?
I watched it twice.
You watched it.
And then when I'm bored, I'm watching YouTube clips of like fight scenes and stuff like that. Kara, what is it that normally a show like this really, the demographics are mostly male, okay? So what is it about the show that really attracted you to it?
I think the overall characters and the way that they really go into detail about their lives. They make it very real. The situations and the conflicts that they go through are things that I feel like everybody can relate to, and I feel like that draws in, you know, women. I think it draws in families. I think it draws in all sorts of different demographics.
Mike, the characters had different type of tics to them.
Yes.
What was the most noticeable tics that like you noticed with, say, like the Punisher?
Yeah, the Punisher. You know, I think John Bernthal really got into that character. You know, he told a story that he was buying the comics. It was probably in New York or something, and the guy that was checking him out was like, you know, don't F this up. You know, and he's like, okay, you know, I won't do that. But, you know, he got into it so much where, and that's, I think, what's so important about characters, playing a character, is finding the character. And in this case, the tics, like when he would say, yeah, like he'd say a sentence and he'd go, yeah, and just those little nuances, you know, that is really what makes a great character. And
he also played Sean from The Walking Dead. Shane, thank you, Shane.
Walking Dead, Shane.
And his tick was he was always rubbing his head. Always rubbing his head. So I'm really glad he didn't carry that tick over.
Yeah.
That would have been very frustrating. So,
well, since you mentioned that, you know, Murdoch, if you notice, he's always gritting his teeth. You see his jaw going, you know. Did you notice that?
No, the only tick I noticed with Daredevil was he punched people. Okay. That was the most noticeable tick I noticed with Daredevil. What kind of mannerisms did you notice with like Kingpin, Kara? What did you think of him?
I loved him. I think that the mannerisms are what brought him to life. I think that, you know, that the voice alone, that deep voice, kind of just gives you the chills. It does. It just gives me the chills.
Or he's bashing some guy's head through a door or something.
But he's always calm. He's never, you really don't see him too heated very often. You know, he has this calm, collected, and you never know, you're just kind of waiting for that bomb to tick. Everything he does is a very slow, meticulous tone.
And there's been a handful of bomb explosions with him, and you just gotta clear the room, so, yeah.
So that kind of covers acting, though, a bit, but I mean, overall, I mean, just everybody was phenomenal. And just those longer engrossing scenes, and it's a phenomenal job all the way around.
So no, yeah, I mean, well, the one thing we can all agree with is Netflix just does a phenomenal job with their storytelling, their script writing, and their excellent ability of casting actors for certain roles. And yeah, I mean, the acting was perfect, and so was the directing, the writing. So yeah.
So how about favorite scenes?
So the favorite scene was the boat scene. What was so important? I mean, yeah, there was that conflict, there was that tension, but was there a game changing scene or conversation?
To me, it was. I think that that's the pivotal moment where Daredevil is debating on whether or not he's gonna switch sides. I mean, he literally had a conversation with Punisher saying, maybe your way is the right way. And that's powerful words, because up until this point, he has struggled, especially with his Catholic background, on whether what he's doing is right and whether what he's doing is, going to condemn him, so to speak. And so to have this pivotal moment with them on the boat talking about how he's ready to say, maybe I'm wrong, maybe using the system isn't going to work, makes you wonder how far and how deep is he going to go, and will he lose his sense of, humanity, so to speak.
Did you see these two guys developing a bromance?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a respect there that both of them have for each other because they're opposites, that will continue throughout if he's back in the season or not. I think so.
Mm-hmm. There's always going to be that sort of complete moral,
Right.
They're completely opposite morally or whatever, or whatever their motives are, but they could exist in the same universe together and not kill each other.
They're two coins.
Yeah.
They're two sides of the coin.
Yes.
They coexist, but they're opposites.
That's awesome. Yes.
It is pretty good. Mike, what is yours?
Oh, if I had to pick one, oh man.
Oh, you're taking too long. My favorite scene is when Matt Murdock and the Kingpin were in the jail. Because right now it's Matt Murdock and Kingpin, they have their whole legal battle, and he was kind of a pain in the butt. But then you have the Daredevil and the Kingpin, that conflict was very physical, and he hated them. But when it was like when he was talking to Matt Murdock, it's like, okay, I'm bringing this conflict up a bit. And the fact that he just the Kingpin took control of that scene. And I think Daredevil's the man without fear. I think for a moment, Matt Murdock was a little afraid. That was probably the most fear I saw from him in the entire show. It was just a glimpse. It was just a glimpse. But he lost control. And the Kingpin that scene was just like jaw-dropping, like, oh my God, that was wow.
Yeah, and he was kind of staggering away.
Yes, he was. Oh, the Kingpin could have broke him like a stick in that scene.
The thing about that scene, too, is it kind of sets it up for the next season, even.
Right.
Like, how do you make those kind of comments and not tell that story about, when he gets out of here?
Which he's going to. Yeah. He's not going to escape.
He let the Punisher walk out. If he wanted to walk out, I'm pretty sure he could figure it out.
Yeah, no, he needs to go out through the legal system so he can get back to building his empire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going back to you. It's kind of
All
like
right, going back to me. It's a
restaurants.
toss-up between, there's a couple scenes with the Punisher and Daredevil. One is the rooftop scene, and the other one is when they're in the cemetery. The cemetery, they really hit with the heartstrings, with his family and stuff, and when he's just kind of broken sitting there. So yeah, I mean, just, jaw-dropping kind of.
What did you think of the prison scene though with the Punisher, where he literally kills like 10 dudes? I mean,
well, that gives him the superhero status. I mean, he's the Punisher, right? He does that. That's what he does, and that confirms it.
And he's doing exactly what he feels is right. These people he's killing, he's followed his rule. They're all bad guys.
I viewed that more as self-preservation.
Well, he's surviving it. Well.
Yeah, that was a survival thing. But again, though, the fact that they didn't, I mean, you saw the wooden spear thing go through the dude. You saw him poke some guy in the eye. You've seen him I mean, Netflix did not hold back on that scene at all. Which, again, you're watching this Marvel show, and the next thing you know, you see blood everywhere. And that I'm not accustomed to with Marvel.
Yeah, it was like the first season was a little brutal. I was kind of surprised with, stuff like the Kingpin smashing the guy's head in the SUV and that sort of thing,
I think it needed it though. I think that's what brings the realism. Again, back to that point. You can't film an entire show about a war that's going on in Hell's Kitchen without having the actual war.
Right.
I mean, if they, cut out or, skipped over those scenes and just kind of alluded to what happened, I don't think we would connect as much, and we wouldn't vote for Daredevil so bad to win if we didn't experience what he was experiencing.
I think I agree with that to a degree. Like when the Irish mobster was torturing Punisher, right, and he escapes. Did we really need to see him get shot in the face? That kind of, to me, that pushes it over. I think that a cutaway, he's doing this, boom, gives me the idea. I think that you could still show the war without going that far, and they just went that far, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap.
He is such a baby. Seriously, I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, holy crap.
You like to see people get shot in the face? What?
People that I don't like.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
I mean, if I like the person, no, I don't want to see him shot in the face. If I don't like you, I want to see you shot in the face.
I think I was just surprised at the level they went to. You know what? And Marvel needs to give Wolverine over to Netflix, because that character stands out to me as someone that you need to, like what they do with the X-Men movies. They kind of neutered it, where you just see him go like this, and Wolverine's always been about, you know.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get that in the third Wolverine show, so I'm not worried about that. Mike, you were like nitpicking, like we're talking extreme nitpicking to
That's what we do.
nth degree, and you had a mild complaint.
My complaint, I don't say it's a complaint necessarily.
Oh yeah, you did. You said it was your
I
complaint.
wrote it down as a complaint, but the only nitpick I would say is I would have liked to seen more shots from Daredevil's perspective. How does he see, like the infrared? That would have been cool to do some.
And that was the only cool thing with the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, was they showed what he saw. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, if they would have done something like that in the show, that would have been neat.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody's wife, I'm not saying who, said, well, how does he see? He's blind. But the thing is, though, I'm sure she's not the only one that thought that. And if we could have showed that extrasensory ability, that
point
would
of
have
view
been,
type
yeah,
of thing.
that
Would
would
have
have
been
been cool.
Yeah. But whatever. If that's all I have to say about it.
I mean, seriously, that is the only negative thing any of us could think of is they just did. Yeah, so Netflix, pay attention, man. Do that in season 3, please. Would you? Please?
Or you know what? Maybe it wouldn't work if they did it. Maybe, or maybe it would be interesting to see why, because I'm sure that that's talked about somewhere as to why they didn't show it.
Okay.
And there's got to be a reason behind it.
So let's wrap this up. Mike, would you recommend this to our audience?
Not really.
No.
Go watch Daredevil season 1 and 2 on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it is phenomenal in every category.
Pay $10 a month for Netflix. It's worth the. And by the way, Netflix is not paying us to do this. They're not.
They will though.
Eventually, we will get
they'll see
sponsorship
what
with
we're doing.
Netflix. You're right. Okay. So yeah. Well, with that being said, anything else, guys?
No?
So that's our thoughts and opinions and views on Daredevil. If you agreed with what we talked about, say so. If there was things that we should have talked about, put that in the comments below. And hey, this won't cost you a penny. Hit the like button, okay? It's take the mouse, go down and hit like. Share this with your friends. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. So with that being said, peace out.